Welcome to Hunting with HECS.
Welcome to today's show. I'm your host, Mike Slinkard. In this episode, we're going to go back and finish up some of the hunts that we had last spring. These encounters were too good to let slide, so we've rounded them up and we're going to show them to you on today's show. First, we head back to Florida to tag along with Jason Cleveland. Jason's always fun to hunt with no matter what happens, and he's the type of guy that puts his HECS suit on and makes things happen. Then we'll follow Jason from Florida to Texas, where he crawls into range of some seriously call-shy birds. Then we'll head to Colorado, where my daughter Caitlin has a very close encounter with a huge cinnamon phase black bear on the ground at only 5 steps. As always, we'll be pushing the limits of HECS technology. So come on along as we go hunting with HECS.
Closing the distance, calmer game, better shots, happier memories. It's what we all crave. It's what we all desire. It's what we all dream about. The close-range, fair chase encounter with wild game is the essence of the hunting experience. Join us as we chronicle the evolution of concealment, testing skill, knowledge, technology, and equipment, becoming the ultimate close-range predator. Oh, the close-up experience here on Hunting with HECS.
On this first hunt, we head to Florida to join up with Jason Cleveland. Jason joined the HECS team on several hunts last year on his quest to shoot a wild turkey grand slam with his 20 gauge. This is the same area where my daughter Caitlin had her encounter with that huge Osceola gobbler with her bow.
Good shot. Good shot.
Did you get him?
Yep, you got him.
Unfortunately, the weather turned bad on us and the rain started really pouring down, making hunting with a camera very difficult. Most of the crew headed back to the lodge to keep the gear dry, but Jason just isn't one to quit. He saw an old shooting house and decided to crawl inside out of the rain just to see if anything was moving around. When the rain slacked up, Jason spotted a tom crossing an old 2-track road near the blind. He already had his decoy set, so he fired off a couple hen calls, and it wasn't long before this bird was headed his way. I know it's a little hard to tell from the video, but Jason's only 10 yards from this bird when he struts right up to the decoy.
Well, here he is. We've got the start of a grand slam with a 20 gauge for me. Some of these guys are brave enough to try it with a bow, but I don't need any of that action. I'm going to do it with my 20 gauge. Got a lot of states to go, a lot of places to go, but we're on our way.
Way to make it happen, Jason. When most guys would have headed back to camp, you stuck it out and got the job done.
Hunting with HECS is brought to you by Game Hide. Hunting wear is all we do. Tough Country. American values forged in steel. Rocky Mountain Hunting Calls and UC Hunting Properties. PSE Archery. Gold Tip, the toughest arrow you'll ever shoot. Ozonics, scent control that works. Trophy Taker and Spot Hog. And by HECS Stealth Screen, the evolution of concealment.
Hi, I'm Riley Elliott, marine biologist.
And I'm Forrest Galante, wildlife expert.
Now, we want to show you how the HECS technology blocks 95% of your body's electrical signals given off by muscle movement.
What we have here is a scientific instrument capable of measuring the electrical magnetic energy leaving the muscle groups of the body.
Now, we're going to get Forrest to put his arm over top of the signal sensor. Now as he does this, you'll see that the needle goes all the way off the scale, registering that energy his body's given out. Now when we apply the HECS fabric, which is a carbon yarn put into this material that is specifically designed for the human wavelength of energy to go off, you'll see that this needle barely moves.
It's basically the same technology that's in the door of your microwave.
Which is called the Faraday cage. As he goes over, the needle barely registers. Being a shark scientist working with animals that specifically pick up electrical energy to detect prey or predators, I've seen significant reduction in their threat displays or in their approach distances, allowing me to get more natural and closer encounters. And for anyone else wearing this suit or this technology, I think will have the same effect too.
When we come back, Jason switches gears and goes hog wild. Welcome back to Hunting with HECS. When we last saw Jason Cleveland, he was kneeling next to a Florida gobbler he called in after a rainy start to the hunt. During the break, the HECS crew was headed on over to Texas, where they plan to hunt Rios in the quest for the Grand Slam.
The whole HECS crew descended on the Great Texas Hunts property to try our hand at some spring turkey hunting. This is some great property, and since Jason arrived a day ahead of the rest of us, he decided to go out and do some scouting and get a jump on the hunt. Well, Jason started out scouting for turkeys, but when one of the guides told him about some of the hogs that were frequenting the nearby feeder, Jason couldn't resist the urge to try to get one.
All right, this is our first day. We're down here to turkey hunt, but we put out a bunch of bread. Hopefully tonight we can get some hogs, catch them off guard with a bunch of bread. I'm gonna set right out here in the open with them, listen for turkeys and shooting hogs. It's gonna be a fun day.
Well, there are a ton of hogs at Great Texas Hunts, and it wasn't long before Jason saw one moving into his area. Jason decides to forego the comfortable shooting house and set up close to the action and trust HECS technology to keep those hogs calm. Keep in mind, these hogs are super smart and they get hunted very hard. They're very wary, and the slightest noise or movement will send them scurrying for cover. Jason is sitting in the open in full view of these hogs, and they don't pay any attention to him at all. When one gives him a shot, he decides to take it.
Here he is. Darren and Doug told me if we took the time to put all that bread out that they'd be in here tonight, and the place was covered up with hogs.
With camp meat secured, Jason heads out after turkeys. Well, as often happens with turkeys, they were henned up really bad. Jason could get them to talk, but they wouldn't come. So Jason does what he does best. He uses his HECS suit and takes the game to them. Well, Jason could see the birds out in front of him, but with a lot of wide open ground between him and the birds, he was going to have to really push the limit and trust HECS technology to get him close enough for a shot. Anyone who's tried to spot and stalk turkeys knows it's a long shot at best, but Jason has done it a bunch of times before wearing his HECS suit, so he doesn't hesitate to go for it. This is where HECS really shows its value. As you can see, Jason is crawling and maneuvering to get closer to these turkeys, but he's also trailing a cameraman, so there's twice as much chance of being seen. But even when the turkeys look right at him, they don't spook. By blocking the electrical field that's emitted from their bodies, they appear more like an inanimate object, and the movement just doesn't alarm them as it normally would. The turkeys go about their business, thus giving the hunter a great advantage in this situation. After several hours of slowly sneaking along beside these turkeys, he was finally able to get them in an opening for a shot. Well, this is a great example of how HECS was able to help two guys sneak within a few yards of wild turkeys and turn a no-win situation into a successful hunt.
Well, we got her done. What time is it, like noon? It's 12 o'clock. We finally got this thing handled. He was leaving the pack, but he snuck on in and we took care of it with a little 20 gauge down in Texas.
Hunters across the country and around the world are raving about the experiences that they're seeing while using their HECS suits. You know, science has found that animals, birds, and fish are able to pick up on minor electrical changes in their electrical environment. A lot of the initial study was done on how birds, animals, and fish navigate. It's what really runs the internal compass. They're picking up that minor change in the Earth's electromagnetic field. Well, every living being also creates an electrical field that's very similar. Through heart rate and muscle movement, we're creating electrical fields that are traveling distance, and we now know that that's one of the ways when animals get in close, they know that they're close to another big living being. That's when the other senses go on alert and things get real tough if you're out there in the hunting woods. If you look closely at the fabric, you'll see a highly electrically conductive carbon yarn woven in a specific grid pattern. This electrically conductive carbon yarn is sized and shaped to block the electrical energy that's created by our body. By blocking these electrical fields, you're going to look more like an inanimate object than you ever thought possible. You know, visual camo and scent control is still important, but the HECS technology gives you an advantage that you've never had before. If you haven't experienced the HECS advantage for yourself, don't delay. Get a HECS suit on the way, because it's going to make a difference in your next hunt.
If you order right now and enter the promo code PURSUIT, you'll save an instant $30 off your HECS suit. As an added bonus, if you order right now, with each purchase of a complete HECS suit, you'll receive a certificate worth $250 off on a trip with Great Texas Hunts. There's plenty more action in Texas when we come back right after this. Welcome back to Hunting with HECS.
While we were at Great Texas Hunts, our good friend, retired Colonel George Fenton, showed up. Colonel Fenton is a trusted advisor to HECS in the military realm, but had not yet personally seen HECS technology in action with turkeys. Since Jason had already tagged his bird, we decided to have him take the Colonel out to see if HECS could help them score on one more gobbler. Once again, the birds were hemmed up bad. But Jason knew from experience that with HECS technology, it was completely possible to just crawl up and shoot one. Now, the Colonel had hunted turkeys a long time, and it would be accurate to say in the back of his mind, he was a little skeptical of Jason's plan. One thing about military guys is they never give up. Plus, the Colonel wanted to see for himself what this HECS could really do. It didn't take much convincing from Jason before they were crawling in on a good group of birds. Just like before, they were able to get away with an incredible amount of movement. The Colonel was able to crawl in, make a great shot on a big bird.
See what his beard looks like. Oh, a little stubby beard, but he's got some good spurs on him.
This HECS fabric is fabulous. It allows you to get in, get up, and get close to the birds. I think this not only has utility for the hunter, but broader application for those that protect this nation.
Well, not only was the Colonel impressed by the true capabilities of HECS technology, but he was also able to take a bird under some of the worst hunting conditions imaginable. He still thinks Jason's a little crazy, but now he's seen firsthand what HECS is truly capable of. Well, I'd like to take a few minutes to discuss the HECS product line. First off is our basic HECS suit. This is the basic suit that's been used by hunters all around the world and had amazing success. It comes shirt, pant, and head cover all together. Very lightweight, very easy to use. You can use it as an underlayer or over. The HECS technology works either way. We tried to design this piece to be used in just about any hunting situation. The pants are cut kind of like sweatpants. They do have an elastic top, a drawstring, elastic cuffs on the bottom, and a fly, and hip pockets in case you want to wear them as an outer layer. The shirt is basically a long sleeve t-shirt, but it does have thumb holes so it's easy to get on underneath, has serge stitching for added durability, and a nice embroidered HECS logo. The head net has a laser cut eye hole, drawstring in the back. It's very simple and very easy to use. New for 2016, we are proud to bring you the new HECS base layer. The base layer is a lightweight, semi-thermal product that's made to be worn under your other hunting clothing, but has the HECS technology and the HECS Advantage woven right in. The base layer is 3 pieces: shirt, pant, and the head cover. The shirt is a 1/4 zip Henley with the HECS logo embroidered. It does have serge stitching, also has thumb holes so it's easy to get on underneath your other clothing. The pants are basic long underwear type pants. They do have serge stitching throughout. Elastic bands on the top, elastic on the bottom. Very easy to use, comfortable to wear under any of your favorite hunting clothing. For those of you out there that's been asking for a little bit heavier HECS layer, this is the item for you. Check out the new HECS base layer, brand new from HECS for 2016. And finally, we have our HECS accessories. Our ball cap made out of the HECS material, lightweight, very comfortable, one of the most comfortable caps you'll ever wear. New for 2016 is our HECS socks. The socks are a heavyweight, over-the-calf sock, very durable. They're going to be nice to wear in any kind of hunting situation, and of course they have the HECS technology woven right in. The HECS gloves are a lightweight, stretchy material made for any hunting situation and are now available in mossy oak camo. HECS technology is found in dealer stores nationwide. Check out our website for a dealer listing near you. Or you can always order direct from HECSLLC.com. That's HECSLLC.com. Or call us direct at 541-575-HECS. That's 541-575-4327. You know, we have operators standing by, but we're very busy. If you get the answering machine, be sure to leave a message and leave your phone number, and we'll be sure to get right back to you and get the HECS suit on the way. HECS technology is changing the way people hunt nationwide and all around the world. Don't delay. Get online or give us a call today and get a HECS suit on the way. It's going to change the way you hunt.
If you order right now and enter the promo code PURSUIT, you'll save an instant $30 off your HECS suit. As an added bonus, if you order right now, with each purchase of a complete HECS suit, you'll receive a certificate worth $250 off on a trip with Great Texas Hunts. Well, we hope you'll bear with us through the break, because there's still plenty more HECS action coming up right after this. Welcome back to Hunting with HECS. So far, the crews traveled from Florida to Texas on their quest for the Turkey Grand Slam. Jason Cleveland is on a roll and even took some time out to drop a hog for camp meat. Now, we're headed to Colorado, where Caitlin Slinkard has the encounter of a lifetime.
Now we're switching gears and heading west. My daughter Caitlin and I are in Colorado hunting mule deer and elk. We hunted a crop field earlier that morning without much luck, so later that day we decided to go out and try some spot and stalk. We were slipping along a ridgeline glassing for elk when all of a sudden we heard a wild commotion up above us. It turned out to be a young black bear, and he was headed right at us at full throttle. He passed us at less than 10 yards and had no idea we were anywhere in the area. Well, a few seconds later, we spotted what had put that bear on the run. It was a huge cinnamon-phased black bear. This thing was a monster, and he had just run the smaller bear out of a ripe patch of acorns that he claimed for his own. Well, neither Caitlin or I had a bear tag, but Caitlin wanted to stalk closer while I filmed just to see how close she could get. She had good wind, and before we knew it, she closed to within 10 yards of the feeding Bruin. Then the bear stood up and passed by Caitlin at only 5 yards. I must admit, I never expected her to get that close, and as a father, I was seriously concerned. This is a huge, aggressive black bear, only 5 steps away from my baby girl. Fortunately, she had HECS on, and the bear never had a clue that we were ever in the area. Well, the bear fed down the ridge and out of sight, and even though we couldn't take him home with us, it was one of the most memorable encounters that we shared all season. My wife, Sherry, was not so impressed.
And now, it's time for this week's HECS Close-Up.
This week's HECS Close-Up comes from Justin Latham from Team Dead On. You might remember the Team Dead On guys are the same ones who videotaped that spectacular piece where Jonas Stout crawled within a couple feet of a turkey flogging their decoys. So it goes without saying that these guys are hardcore HECS fanatics. In this clip, Justin's checking his trail cameras when he notices a young buck hanging around. He gets his cell phone out to record the action. This is definitely not normal deer behavior. Justin's wearing his HECS suit and it's pretty clear that the deer doesn't see Justin as any sort of a threat. Justin is clearly in the open as he just walked up on the deer only a few seconds earlier. Justin said that this is the sort of stuff they see over and over while wearing their HECS suits. Thanks again to Justin Latham and Team Dead On for bringing us this week's HECS Close-Up. HECS technology is changing the way hunters pursue their game nationwide and around the world. You know, it's scientifically known that animals have the ability to pick up very minor changes in their electrical environment. As hunters, we've all seen this. When a big animal gets in close, it's usually not very long, and he knows that there's something in his environment that he needs to check out. Birds actually see these fields visually. When there's an electrical field associated with movement, they know that they're looking at something that's alive, and one of the things that they really need to pay attention to. Inanimate objects such as branches and grass that are blowing on the wind don't have an electrical field, and that's one of the reasons why a turkey or waterfowl can pick up your movement even when there's all kinds of movement going on around it. By blocking these fields, when animals get in close, you're going to be able to get away with a little more movement, and you're going to be less detectable than you ever have been before. If you haven't seen the HECS technology in action for yourself, go online to hexllc.com, click on the dealer page, and you can see the dealer nearest you. Or call us at 541-575-HECS. That's 541-575-4327. We look forward to getting a suit to you and also to hearing your great HECS experiences. Join the tens of thousands of hunters out there who know the HECS advantage. Call us today. We look forward to hearing from you.
If you order right now and enter the promo code PURSUIT, you'll save an instant $30 off your HECS suit. As an added bonus, if you order right now, with each purchase of a complete HECS suit, you'll receive a certificate worth $250 off on a trip with Great Texas Hunts.
We've been all over the place in this week's episode, from spot and stalk turkeys to bears almost in our laps. Each time, HECS technology did its job and allowed us to remain undetected long enough to make a shot or turn a bad or dangerous situation into a successful memory. Don't you think it's time to try HECS for yourself? We have big discounts for anyone who orders during the show today and uses promo code PURSUIT. So go online or make that call today, and soon you too will be experiencing the close-up encounters like we feature each week here on Hunting with HECS.
Closed captioning is provided by Connect to the Field, Scout, Plan, Connect. If you have a great HECS encounter that you'd like to share with us, please contact us through our website. If we use it on the air, you'll be entered to win a hunt with Great Texas Hunts. As an added bonus, with each HECS purchase, you'll receive a certificate worth $250 off on a trip with Great Texas Hunts. Get those pictures and video coming, and you could be the lucky winner of this great hunt. You can find out more on our website at hexllc.com.